Okay, so I'm going to create a new composition with one of these other clips. I'm going to show you how it does it. So I go under Composition, New Composition, and I'm going to just create another one so that I have all my clips here. So that first one, this one here, I'm going to rename uh, boy so that I know what my comps are. If they just say comp 1 and 2, it's very, if you have a lot of comps, it's pretty confusing quickly as far as to which is which. So this one, let's say I'm going to work on, this one right here is another color correction fix. Here's Master Okazaki. I did a documentary about this, about karate, and so I'm going to work on this one. So let's call this one Okazaki. Rename Okazaki. And I'm going to take this clip and just bring it down to the timeline. And so when I shot this, I had very little time to set anything up, and the color correction looks terrible. He's orange, okay? So we got to fix that. So again, I lay it down into the timeline. I'm going to take Lumetri. I'm going to drop it onto, since there's only one layer, you could either drop it here or you can drop it right on the clip itself. Just to make sure I'm working with my work area, I'm holding down the shift button as I drag it, and it snaps to the very end, and I hit the letter N. So now my work area is the entire thing here. Okay. So we're going to take, make sure, so Lumetri color is on here. I'm going to go to, we can try some of these other things here, like if you wanted to look at, like there's built-in, like if you go under creative and where it says look, like these are all film stocks and different looks that you can choose from, and it's kind of fun to kind of see what they do. If you're looking for like an interesting look, you can just try different things and see what they do. You know, and sometimes you find things that look pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to reset that and leave it at none. But you can change those and play around with that. I think that is a good tool. I'm going to go to curves again. The problem here is clearly red. So I'm going to start by bringing the red down a little bit. Again, I am looking at this viewfinder. Actually, let's look at, in this situation, let's go to the vector scope. And let's turn off this other one here. So I'm only looking at this vector scope. I'm going to go with this vector scope and turn off HLS. Okay, so this is the one that I want to work with. So you can see here, this is red, okay, and red is clearly way up top here. As far as right and wrong, you don't want it to go too far into the red. The more red you do, you can kind of see what's happening here. Obviously, this isn't a good example, but I just want you to see as you bring up the red in the vector scope, it gets closer there. So as you start to get familiar with these vector scopes, you can kind of see what's going on in there and how to use them. And it does require some trial and error. So let's go ahead and reset that, and I'm going to just take this red, and between looking at this and looking at this, I'm going to bring down the red a little bit. I'm also going, and now I'm going to actually go back to my waveform, and let's turn off the vector scope, and you can see that it's very bright and not a lot of black level going on here. So I'm going to make my 3 dots with the white selected here, this white dot. That means it's all the above. Okay, and so I'm going to make 3 dots here, and I want to bring down the black level quite a bit here. And sometimes I need to do something like this. And when you fix one thing, you'll find that you have to fix a lot of different things. So like what I did earlier might have to be redone, but I'm going to kind of play around with that. So now I'm looking at the black level, and I'm getting closer to 0 here. All right, so that's probably a good place for this black level. I'm going to kind of turn it on and off to kind of see what it looks like. And it's looking pretty good as far as the black level is concerned. He still looks kind of funky. So let's go ahead and try to make him a little bit brighter. I'm also looking at the scopes up here. I want to kind of bring down the brightness level. So I might then go into basic correction and maybe bring down the exposure a little bit, just a little bit here, so that it's just under 100. I'm having a hard time. There we go. I'm holding down the command key as I drag it. Like if you're having a hard time doing a fine little adjustment, the command key does make it not so hard to, like it won't drag the whole thing down quickly. So I'm just doing that. And so now the white level looks pretty good. He's looking a little bit green. So maybe I'll bring down the green level a little bit. And so now he's looking okay. Like this is almost acceptable. And so let's see what he looked like ahead of time. So here's where we started, and here's where we ended. Okay, and so that's not bad. All right. But I still think I can improve it a little bit. So you have this tint button, and this is kind of interesting to play around with. So like the tint might give you a little, like if you prefer, you know, not, if you want to just make some fine adjustments there. And that's looking a lot better here.